Hello, everyone. Welcome to our last session of day 2. Welcome to the Learning Lab. Please note that closed captioning is available and can be enabled at the bottom of your Zoom screen. My name is Maya Jubnovsky. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm part of Philanthropy Together. We are a global initiative to grow and strengthen the field of collective giving with programming like We Give Summit. So today we are going to learn about different tech tools and how those tools help us and support our work in the collective giving field. You will be able to experiment these tools and will live with a better understanding of how they can help you in your everyday work. This is gonna be an interactive session. So we are changing a little bit the game here. I know it's the last session. Usually people is kind of tired. So we were supposed to have 3 different breakout rooms. What we are thinking to do is just to have one main room, and we will give each one of our amazing speakers the time of, they will have 13 minutes to showcase and explain about their products. So I don't know if we are all good with this. This is throughout the session, please engage in the chat. Be very mindful about the community guidelines that we will share, especially because now we're staying in the main room. So let's please engage, be very respectful, and give each one of our speakers the time and respect they deserve. Also, I want to just mention something else. At the end of the session, we will share a poll. So please, we encourage you to answer that poll. And so, something else is happening, something exciting is happening. We also will have a winner, a raffle winner. For this session, it's not a book. For this session, we are giving $300 to our winner, and that can be used to a tech consultant towards, for example, online networking, virtual events, Google Ad grants. So each one of, the winner decide, and of course, the winner is welcome to choose the consultant that he or she or they prefer. I think, having said this, I'm gonna introduce each one of our amazing speakers. I'm gonna start with Tara and Rona. They are from Meta Impact, so please welcome Tara and Rona.
Thank you, Maya, and thank you, Ty, as well, for all of your support. It's just been such a pleasure. My name is Tara Helton. I use she, her pronouns. I'm a managing director here at Meta Impact, and I primarily focus on our economic development, racial equity, workforce, and talent impact networks. Rona, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Rona Asuncion. I am co-founder and head of product design here at Meta Impact. For the past 2 years, we've been lucky enough to get customers who have applied and used our platform for social impact, which is a whole new learning for me personally. And I've just been still being a sponge and learning how this world works. It's both fascinating and intimidating, but it's humbling for me to get to see the inner workings of it. On a personal level, I am a first-generation Filipino immigrant. I am from the Bay Area, and I'm getting married this Saturday.
Wow, congrats.
Thank you.
So thank you so much, Tara and Rona. And now I will introduce Rebecca from Charityvest. Thanks for being here, Rebecca.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to be here with you all today, and excited to pitch to a full room now. But basically, Charityvest, if you aren't familiar with us, we are a donor advised funds platform, which is essentially giving accounts for those that are not aware of how donor advised funds work. And I get to be here today to talk to you all about our collective giving tool called Community Funds, which I absolutely love and is a part of the reason that I am so happy to be on Team Charityvest. And I am Toronto based, although Charityvest is out of Atlanta, Georgia, and just excited to get to know everybody and learn a little bit more about everyone's tools today.
And we have Gabby from Grapevine. Gabby, welcome. Thanks for being here.
Hi, everyone. My name is Gabby. I am the community manager at Grapevine. You can think of Grapevine as your infrastructure partner to your collective giving group. We have over 1,100 groups using our free platform, over 72,000 members and donors part of our groups. And we've got 4,000 leaders leading different groups on the platform. And a lot of my work is working with those leaders to help engage and grow their group and create a thriving collective giving group. And I work really closely with Taisha, helping to collaborate on some workshops and events for our community. And so it's just really exciting to be here because I'm just always so in awe of the work that Philanthropy Together does. And yeah, excited to chat a little bit more.
Thank you, Gabby. And since you have the microphone, do you want to start? You will be the first one.
Sure.
And start the learning lab. Thank you so much for being here, and let's kick off with Grapevine.
Okay, I would love to. So let me share my screen here. So I sort of said this at the beginning, but we really are the infrastructure partner to the Giving Circle movement. This is me. My name's Gabby. I'm the community manager at Grapevine. We started in March 2020. And since then, our community of members and leaders running their giving circles on our platform have moved over $35 million to about 4,500 nonprofits. And often that's smaller, more grassroots organizations. So we are the only platform right now dedicated to giving circles. So we're very, very excited about that. Emily, who is the founder of Grapevine, really discovered in March 2020 that giving circles didn't have any tools specifically designed for them to do their work. They were collecting checks from everyone and communicating over just email, all those kinds of things. So we really are a place, if you have a group that already exists, you can move it onto our platform just so we can support you to better do your work. Or if you're just thinking about starting a group, we have free tools to allow you to set up a group really quickly. And then we also collaborated with Philanthropy Together on the global Giving Circle directory. So you can also easily find a group. We've got a link to the global directory on our website as well, which is grapevine.org. So these are the key things that we do to make it easy for you to do your work and move all this funding. So as I mentioned, you can easily find and join a group or start one of your own. Keep your members connected through the community page that you will set up. Collect donations. We use Stripe as our payment processor. You can share updates with your members. You can also really easily grow your member base through some tools that we've got built in. You can host your nominations and your voting. If you're the type of giving circle that collects nominations from members, we make it really easy to do that and to open up voting. And then, of course, you can report transparently as well. And we have lots of tools built in. So we are a free platform. These are some numbers that I already mentioned, but we have groups in every single state in our community, lots that already existed, lots from the 100 Who Care Women Network and Impact 100, lots of groups there. And then also some that have just discovered us and love this model, or maybe they came through Jumpstart or a program through Philanthropy Together and discovered our platform through that. So this is just a little bit about where we are right now as a community and a platform. And these are some of our giving circles that are using our platform. We have giving circles that are virtual, that are, just operate in that way. And then we also have lots of giving circles that are location specific, maybe some familiar faces on here as well. I think we've got Beth Cantor in the middle. I believe she is on a panel as well. So these are just a few groups that are in our community. And we support giving circles and collective giving groups that are large and small. So we've got some that are just starting out. We've got this group that has 11 members and growing, some giving circles that are connected to nonprofits and they're running a group specifically for that, some in larger networks that we see like 100 Women Who Care. At the top left here, we've got our Black Trans Lives Thrive group, and they are fully virtual and they are a monthly group. Their members contribute monthly and they have moved almost $160,000 to different organizations. So when you collect your funds, you tell us where to send them through the platform. It doesn't take more than a couple minutes, and then we send those funds over to the nonprofit and your members get tax receipts, all that kind of thing. I just want to take a quick look at the chat to make sure I'm not missing any questions. Okay, great. And we also support all different types of collective giving groups, from local groups to cause-based groups to organization-specific ones, and then community funds as well. So lots of different types of groups are hosted on our platform. We are a free platform that helps you do your work, but we also support you in other ways through our community initiatives. So we have over 4,000 people running giving circles through us right now. So we offer them lots of support, which I'll get to in a moment, but we can also support you in a strategy for your giving circle, community building, community management, sort of training different people on your team to use the platform and then handing that off. And then we also support you with lots of different types of workshops that we give to our leaders, many in collaboration with Philanthropy Together and Taisha that I work on this with. So everything from helping you to facilitate conversations with your giving circle to selecting nonprofits, and one-on-one support, all that kind of stuff. So we have a lot of infrastructure in place for you just to set up your group and feel supported, and also connect you some peer-to-peer connections with other leaders in a similar position as well. We also have helped to kickstart lots of giving circles, about 400 as well, through some work that we've done. And we are offering some of the lessons we've learned from that and some of the strategies that we've used to help grow and kickstart groups to help support your group. So if you are just beginning or your group has been around for a little while, we have a growth support program that you can sign up for, and we can help use some of those strategies to help grow your group and your membership base. So my contact information will be at the end, but if you are interested in learning more about that, we are definitely here to support you with that as well. And then we also have a couple other initiatives, Grapevine for Teens, where we go into different companies and we do essentially pop-up giving circles for those organizations as sort of one-off events. So if you are part of an organization and you think that this makes sense for you, please do reach out about that as well. And then a bit of a special offer today. So if you launch a group on Grapevine, we will invite in your first 10 members. Even if your members don't set up their donation right away, we will add $50 to your first granting pool for whatever nonprofit you're selecting. So just a little bit of incentive there. And if you go to grapevine.org, that is where you can do that. And I also just wanted to quickly go through the platform a little bit and show you what an active group looks like. So, but I'll just pause here quickly so you can take down our contact information, community@grapevine.org, and we're here to talk through anything further with the Grapevines for Team or the growth support program, or if you just want to launch a group and you need a little extra support there. So I am going to now just quickly flip over to what a group looks like, just so you can get a bit of a better sense of that. But if there are any questions, please do let me know as well while I pull that up. All right. Oops, sorry, I'm losing my screen here. All right, so this is a current group on the Grapevine platform, Tampa Women for Good. So basically, to set up a group, you answer a couple questions. So I will put this form in the chat. We basically ask you the name of your group, how often you want to collect donations, anything you want to share about the group itself. Once you answer those questions, we will automatically create a community page for you that looks something like this. And you can edit this. You're looking at at this right now as an admin, so you can see we've got all these edit buttons, so you can change your image, all that kind of stuff. But this is what will happen. So Tampa Women for Good, they've been around a little over a year, and their group has moved over $70,000, almost $70,000. If you go to the right-hand side here, you can see all the different events that they have upcoming for your group. So not only are you able to sort of collect your donations through this, but it's also really a community hub where all of your members can see, oh, they've got this clean beauty event coming up, and also requesting nonprofit nominations. So that's a really good place for your members to see right away all the different ways that they can engage in your group. And then you've got everything from your impact tab where you can track all your different cycles and see all the different donors. Your members tab where you can download a list of all of your donors and see when members joined. You can communicate as well. You can send a bulk message or communicate as a one-off message as well. And then this here is your settings tab where you can really control all the different pieces of your group, if it's public, if it's private, who can post, and then if you want to add a survey questions, all that kind of stuff, that's all part of here. And then the last thing I just want to call out before wrapping up is your add members here. So this is really where you can invite people into your group, can customize the message you send to them. They'll get an invitation to join your group. We also make it easy if you want to print a QR code, print them off, bring them to events. This allows people to really quickly join your group as well. So that's just a quick rundown of the platform, how it operates. But if anyone has any questions at all, please do let me know.
Thank you so much, Gabby. Right on time.
Oh, good. Okay, perfect.
It was perfectly time. And I think we can have some time for the questions at the end. Oh, wait, we have a question here, Gabby, from Jordan. Do members vote via the platform or where the funds go?
Yes, exactly. So you can open up a voting post to collect your votes. And then once you have your grantees, you go into the back end and you tell us where to direct the funds. So there's also the option if you want to split it between different nonprofits or send a certain percentage to just one nonprofit and a certain percentage to another, we can facilitate all of that. One thing to call out is we can only send funds to a 501c3, and we vet it to make sure it's in good standing with the IRS, not on any watchdog lists, before it's added into our directory. But we can also send funds that includes fiscally sponsored projects, some federally recognized tribes, some public schools, churches, all that kind of stuff. So it does encompass more than that, but we do vet the nonprofits to make sure they're in good standing with the IRS and not on any watchdog lists before we send the funds over. Hopefully, okay, great.
Thank you. Okay, so now we're moving to our next speaker. She's Rebecca. She's from Charityvest. Welcome, Rebecca. We're ready for you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here. All right, I'm going to set a timer so that I don't go over time or under. We'll see how it goes. Hello, everyone. So as Maya so graciously mentioned, I am here from Charityvest today. And hopefully you all can see my screen.
Yes.
Awesome. Basically, Charityvest in a nutshell is a donor advised fund platform, which may not be the first thing that comes to mind when you think of collective giving. But I am so grateful to be a part of the team that has started to build out and lead initiatives within Charityvest to actually offer people the ability to pool their funds and give in a more community-based way, because ultimately what we've believed as an organization from day one, which I think was back in 2019 now, is that donor advised fund dollars should not stay and sit in their accounts. The best donors, the most engaged donors, both for us as an organization, but also for the charities that receive the dollars, is to have a donor that is constantly moving money out of our accounts and into those of charities. So basically over time, we've learned from our donors, now we're at about 15,000 of them, they've all asked us, basically to help find more meaningful ways to give and to discover them through our platform. Because sometimes the challenge that they seem to face is, there's so many options out there. How can they find things that are related and close to their values and their heart? And so introducing on that note, this tool that we built called Community Funds. Community Funds in a nutshell is just a collective giving tool. It's a pool that enables any set of donors to pool charitable capital for greater impact. And the way that they do that is through a custom branded webpage. And essentially, the way that you can think about this is a social DAF, or a social donor advised fund. So when I talk about this, I think giving circles are an incredible way that people pool money. Some of the ways that we have noticed that people are using this specific tool is not so much in that respect, but in a few other different scenarios. And so the first one that we have seen a lot of people engage with community funds on are what we call expert grant makers. Expert grant makers are not experts by us or anybody else telling us that they are defined as experts. It's anybody that has passion and care for a certain cause area or issue area that wants to see change happen in that part of the world and in that part of the community. And so basically, if somebody is close to the issue and is able to identify charities that other people want to get around and want to support, this is a great way for them to do that, almost to create a portfolio of giving opportunities for others in their community. In addition to that, some of you all throughout the course of We Give Summit, you might have become familiar with donor collaboratives. That's also a great use case for community funds, because essentially what it is exactly what a donor collaborative is. It's multiple people or institutions coming together to put their money in one place that they can ultimately grant out to multiple charities over an extended period of time. And beyond that, influencers, I don't think I'll ever consider myself one of those, but it's anybody that has a platform or has an audience and community that is excited to back the things that they care about. Workplaces, we've also seen, workplaces coming together and sharing with their stakeholders, their employees, and their partners the giving that they already do, and maybe they invite others alongside them. And then the last two, groups of friends. So this could be as simple as a book club coming together. We've seen March Madness events where it's just, a social group coming together and adding an extra layer of generosity on top. That makes it all the more better. And then finally, memorials and weddings, just any sort of milestone in somebody's life that they want to capture and through generosity. Instead of it being a gift, it can be a charitable gift that has lasting impact. And so this would have, I think, been a little bit more relevant if we were in a smaller group setting, but I will have you sit with this question as I go through the rest of this presentation, and would love to know if there's any specific thing that you want to take away from this session, and how myself, but also the other tool leaders here can help you achieve that, can help you figure out what it is that you need to take that next step in your generosity toolkit. And that leads me to what I am very excited to share with you all, which is a case study that is close to my heart. It's called the CareWorks Fund. And this is an example of, you could consider it an expert grant making fund, but once again, this was just somebody that came to us that was incredibly passionate specifically about the caregiving works or the caregiving space, and how there needs to be more diverse representation in both the work that's happening, but also in the nonprofit leadership around this. And so this fund leader came up with this idea from scratch and used the community funds tool as a way to spearhead it and to test it out and see, is anybody else going to be excited about this thing that I really care about and want to send more dollars towards? And the response was amazing. They've up until this point, they were one of our early launch partners. We've only been around with this tool since August of last year, so we're still pretty fresh, but they have been able to grant out over $18,000 in just a short time, and they're just getting started. So I'm excited to share CareWorks Fund with you all today. I know that they are attending the We Give Summit. I don't know if they're here in this room, but if they are, shout out to Purvi and Rania. All right, and that being said, I'm just gonna quickly switch my screen as well. Hopefully you can see what is the CareWorks Fund. And through this, I'll give you a bit of a tour of what a community fund would look like to somebody that is coming to the website or this page to make a contribution and to donate to this effort. So kind of, typical things that you might see on a fundraising page. I'll just quickly walk you through what makes this a little bit different. So this fund that you can give any sort of title to, any sort of background to, it's evergreen. So there's not a strict start date or end date. You just have the ability to basically raise funds over time and make out grants over time if you are managing the fund. You also get to add in photos and tell your story. A lot of the power behind these funds we've learned is just how people communicate about what they're trying to accomplish to their communities. So even if it's as small as sharing it with your family and friends and it's a birthday community fund, we still have known and seen a huge amount of participation has come from people just learning more about why people care about certain causes or care about certain charities. Beyond that, we have like a little resources section. So if you have existing infrastructure that you want to link out to or updates, all of that can be contained here. We also have added and put some real thought into our grant making process because this tool is very flexible. So you can really go any which way with it. You could have, as I sort of mentioned earlier, a portfolio approach where basically you have an existing set of charities that you grant to on a regular basis and everyone knows what they are. They opt into that when they contribute. You could also have full discretion over the fund. It can range from one end to the other of the spectrum, or you can have a more participatory model where the supporters of the fund are able to vote and you're able to kind of pull all of that in. But this process section is really where you have the space to communicate that and share it out.
Rebecca, I'm gonna stop you. We need you to zoom in a little bit, please.
Oh, yes, no problem. I think I've been staring at a computer for too long. I have no sense of Zoom anymore. The details aren't as important, but I think something else to mention is this fund manager section. So this is a space where you actually can put a face or an organization to the fund and build a lot of trust around it. It can be individuals, it can be groups, but the nice thing is that it can be as many people as you'd like. So if you have a coalition or if you have a group of 5 friends and you want everyone to have full access to make grants and to take steps from this fund, they're totally able to do that. And alternatively, if you just want one person that's the face and leading, you can have that happen as well. So lots of flexibility there, which is nice. And then some fun and exciting stats that you get to share with the world and kind of customize what you prioritize as part of your storytelling. The other things that are worth noting, there's this charity section. So over time, as you were to make grants out of this fund, hopefully this will load, there we go. You get a breakdown, not just you as the fund manager, but anyone that has access to this page has a breakdown of all of the different grants that have gone out, the amount, and little descriptions that you can customize about why you were choosing certain organizations at certain points. There's also a little supporters list, so people can opt to be anonymous, of course, but if they want to share out with the world, they absolutely can. And then the other piece around transparency that was really important to us was to have an actual ledger of all of the in and outflows of money throughout the course of this fund's life. So whether I come across this page on day 1 or day 500, I will be able to see when you went out, if the charity deposited it, and how much money was raised in what time. The other exciting thing is that with a community fund, there are lots of different ways that you can donate. Because we are built on donor advised fund infrastructure, you have the ability to give as a guest via credit or debit. But beyond that, you can donate stock, you can donate cryptocurrency, and you can even donate from another donor advised fund. So your community of givers, especially if they have leaned into alternative asset donations and all of that tax stuff that I don't know too much about, but I do know is a really valuable way for people to give and is also a really valuable sort of selling point for when you're asking others to give, is you're able to do all of that, which is kind of fun. And for those that just want to give with a credit card or want to give one time and never think about Charityvest again, they have the option to do so. Our minimum donation amount is $15. And they can click through, fill out this form, and they'll get a tax receipt instantly from us. The platform in this tool specifically is entirely free to use if you opt into this tipping model. If that does not make sense for you, you can always talk to me about it and we'll figure out something that works, but it defaults to 0%. We never want to sort of bamboozle anybody into tipping us, but yeah, it's just, I love this tool. I think it's an incredible way to bring people together around causes that they care about, whether that's in a formal structured way or, you know, just a way of sharing out something that one individual really cares about. So yeah, I hope you all find that as well. And I will now switch back my screen one last time to share what our little offer is for today. Because what I hope you all take away from this is that anybody can lead a community fund, and I hope that some of you feel inspired to do so. So if that is the case, I think hopefully my slide will load in a second. But if that is the case, what we would love for you to do, now that you've attended the session, you've kind of done step 1 of the entry process. Step 2 is where you can actually submit an idea for a community fund and enter to win a $50 Charityvest gift card, which is essentially $50 that you can send to any 501c3 charity of your choice. All right, how am I doing on time? Oh,
You're
I think
great.
I just hit 13 minutes.
And you have 2 questions that I posted on the chat.
Amazing.
From Romy Garcia. So Romy asked, what is the minimum gift for DApps on this platform?
Yeah, so the minimum gifts are $15. So $15 for someone to make a gift to a community fund, and $15 is the minimum for a grant out to a charity. And I absolutely can show that last slide again. I can also send a little picture. I think my slides are having a little adventure loading right now. Were there any other questions that I missed, Maya?
Yes. So Carmen is asking if Charityvest is a 501c3.
We are, yes. So Charityvest C3 donor advised fund sponsoring organization, which means that if you were to start a community fund, you don't have the burden of all of the administrative hassle behind managing a private foundation or any other sort of entity of that. It's kind of having your own little mini foundation without any of that stuff, because we handle all of it. So we're responsible for maintaining compliance and all of that good stuff.
Okay, and I think we have one more. Is community funds the idea of co-funding, like donors with a DAF can co-fund projects proposals?
Absolutely. So the ultimate recipients have to be 501c3 compliant charities that we monitor for being up to date and all of that. But the idea of it, yeah, it's like having a donor advised fund that you can actually invite other people to give into. So whether that's you having your own, you know, in the birthday example, if somebody had their own fund and they're saying, hey, this is like for all of my giving, I will make decisions about where the money ends up. That's great. Alternatively, it could be, hey, like my donor advised fund and a few others, we're coming together to fundraise for this initiative or for this project.
One more question popping in the chat. Rebecca, I don't know if you can see the chat. Have you seen 501c3 succeed in using this platform to gain seed funding to get started?
That is a great question. So 501c3s, charities, have had different levels of success. And I think the best way to think about it is if you already have infrastructure for fundraising on your websites, will adding this webpage add any sort of confusion to your donors? Like if you created a page like this as a charity, would your donors be kind of turning heads back and forth, trying to figure out what is this and why is it different than just going straight to my charity's website. But if you think that there's an opportunity, again, I mentioned we have 15,000 donors in our platform. Your fund becomes visible to those donors, which is always exciting. So if you think that there's value in it, and there's maybe a discrete project, like some sort of capital campaign or something, and there's a way that you feel that you could promote this that wouldn't divert any sort of attention or any sort of thought processes away from your direct giving, then absolutely.
Okay, well, thank you so much. If you have more questions for Rebecca or Gabby, let's keep the conversation in the chat. And we are starting with our last speakers, Tara and Rona from Meta Impact. Thanks for being here. Welcome.
Thank you, Maya. Thank you, Gabby and Rebecca. It's really exciting work you're doing. So I'm thankful we were all able to share together here. I just also want to take a moment to thank the team on the call here sincerely for having us today. As Rona mentioned, we're learning a lot about this space and collective giving, and we're inspired by the work you're doing across all these networks to build a healthier and sustainable, more equitable, and vibrant world. So thank you again there. Coming out of our demonstration today, we would like to offer additional time with our team at no cost. We'll bring in our solutions and technical architects and really get smart about the work you're doing, understand your needs, and then configure an environment to show you how we might be able to support you and your collective giving efforts. I have a QR code on I think I have 5 slides here on the 5th slide if you'd like to scan that. So I'm going to go through this quick Meta Impact overview. Then we're going to jump into live product. Rona's going to walk us through that. And then any Q&A, we'll monitor the chat here. So our mission at Meta Impact is to connect every organization on the planet to build impact networks that are capable of solving some of the world's biggest problems. And so we've built this global digital infrastructure to help organizations like yours that are dedicating their lives' work to solving some of these problems or opportunities. And we're creating this nexus of nonprofits, municipalities, commercial enterprises, faith-led organizations, and more to work together in this collaborative, shared, neutral, persistent platform to really break down silos and just align on what it is we're trying to achieve together. Share our goals, share outcomes, action plans, and start to measure real-time progress towards those goals. Are we winning or are we losing? And how can we accelerate change? You'll see the quote here on the slide from one of our customers, Dave Eady from Georgia Tech. He's working with a statewide initiative and over 100 employers called Drawdown Georgia. They're working to lower carbon emissions for the state. And he likes to depict that our platform is creating networks of learning and doing. So all this physical work happening in the world, we're that digital representation of the work and the impact that's being made. If you want to progress, Rona? I might have a lag on my side. Oh, there we go. So we know that these big problems are interconnected, so are the solutions. You'll see some of the big buckets of categories we're supporting. We are a startup, we're a young company. We just went to market about 1.5 years ago, but very quickly, as Rona mentioned, we've started engaging and locking arms with social impact organizations across these big buckets and more. And we believe, we look at these areas kind of together, which is why you see the dotted lines there, because we can't separate them. There's these entanglements that exist. So once you start to work on workforce and an initiative related to workforce, you quickly get into healthcare because we need our employees to show up at work. We need them to feel good contributing in a productive way. Or, housing. We know that jobs need a place to go to sleep at night. So our platform's giving you one single pane of glass to understand who's doing what across all these categories and all these causes. Who do I want to collaborate with? Where should I connect based on where my interests or initiatives might overlap? And then again, the measurement is such a key piece of this. So how are things going? This slide here, you'll see a sampling of some of the organizations we work with. Many of these networks are started by a backbone organization or a network builder. And then very quickly, they start to pull in other organizations or people that are helping them with those causes. And organically, these impact networks grow. So in the last slide here, Rona, if you want to progress, this just sums up the guts and glory of the solution. So there are these self-organizing digital spaces for learning and doing across all different sectors. We're helping these networks align on purpose. We're helping them assemble all elements that might be relevant to affecting change and accelerating our goal towards our mission. And then we're activating connections. So there might be a one-to-one space where 2 organizations need to collaborate on a shared initiative, or 100 different organizations like Drawdown Georgia coming together in a shared space. And finally, you'll see that we're really driving collective impact through this venue of discovery, this shared system of measurement, and optimizing how capabilities match needs. So Rona, without further ado, if you want to pop up the QR code on the next slide, and this way we can capture your information and schedule some time to get to know you a little bit better. And then we'll make sure we send this to you as well. And then Rona, if you want to go ahead and transition to the demo, I will monitor the chat.
Great. Let me reorient all my windows, all the tabs that I have open. Let's see, I lost it. Oh, I think it's because I have full screen on. Okay, there you go. All right. Okay, everyone see my screen, the classic Zoom. Okay, great. Well, thank you. Thank you everyone for the opportunity for us to demonstrate the Meta Impact platform. And thank you, Tara, for that prefacing. And hopefully some of what she said will start to make sense as I go through the platform itself. The Meta Impact platform is a digital infrastructure to host organizations and groups and their important social initiatives like collective giving. So I'll go ahead and just get started and log in. I am logging in as a pseudo member of Philanthropy Together. So we will be coming into the network from Philanthropy Together's point of view. And anyone else in the network can log in on their own and get access to the same spaces if it's shared with them. And what we're seeing here is really a space that Philanthropy Together has created so that they can have a collective view of the entire network of organizations aligned on the purpose of collective giving. As I move around here, I'll kind of collapse this a little bit. There are certain functionality and features that are available to me. I can design this space however I want, create the pages that make sense to support the network, and really make it fit for what I need and what I want to share to others. And in this specific scenario, Philanthropy Together would sort of be acting as the convener because they want that shared visibility for all of the organizations. And other conveners often are in a position to want to enable sharing best practices, foster collaboration, and activate those connections. And so here we're going to see, I'm going to navigate to this thing called collective networks. You can name it however you want. But here we're looking at the collection of organizations that Philanthropy Together has put in here in this space, where we have giving circles, giving circle networks, funding organizations, and partners. So there can be many types of organizations and groups in here that you can add and invite into the space. Every organization that you'll see in here as I scroll through, again, can access and contribute to this space in their own point of view. So Philanos can go and log into Meta Impact, see the same space if they've been given access, and I see here that they have, and they can manage themselves and how they appear in this space and also contribute whatever makes sense for the network as a whole. I'll now switch over to explore who's all really in here. Hopefully this loads okay. But for this demonstration, we've put together and done a little bit of research, really just to demonstrate one giving circle network, Philanos. And I know there's like at least 12 more that isn't represented here, but hopefully this will give you a good picture of how this is truly a network, and a network of networks, where we can imagine if those other 12 giving circle networks are in here, each bringing in their collective giving circles, this would just be massive. And hopefully we go beyond like I'm overwhelmed because this thing is so big, to being inspired by the community and just the massive amount of organizations all aligned towards the same goals. So while you can see the breadth of these networks, you can also dive into anything specific to take a little bit more action on. And so I'll cruise around here, and then I'll click on Philanos, and I'll focus on them and their subset of network. You'll see the giving circles that they support or affiliates, but also other organizations that they might be connected to in the Meta Impact platform. And then hopefully I can find really quickly, I'll just pick one of the giving circles that they work with, which is, oh, did it freeze? Oh, there you go. There you go. This is a live demo, everyone. I'm facing a little bit of technical issues. 1 second. There you go. Why won't it click? I'm going to reset and focus again, and then find the Women's Giving Circle of Southwest Florida, which is one of the giving circles, one of 5, I believe, in Florida. And I want to see how they're connected. So I'm going to click on that and see that Philanos and the Women's Giving Circle of Southwest Florida are collaborating together, and that they are partners. But what if I wanted to see a little bit more about Philanos themselves? I go in here, I can see more detail about Philanos. Again, Philanos has complete control of what they put here and how they define themselves and how they show up in these spaces. So they've defined a little bit about themselves on a high level and their profile. And they also have full control of what they want to contribute into the space. If I navigate over to contributions, I can see a list of reports that I've shared with this entire group, some metrics derived from publicly available data. But we'll go into this 2023 reporting for Florida, where because of the possibility of the 5 Florida giving circles in the same platform, sharing what they're doing and the work that they're doing, as Philanos, they're able to really create this collective story of impact along with data that we also host in the platform, to really give you a sense, a concrete sense of the measurable progress towards collective giving, or from collective giving. So I can see here, I can click into it. The 5 giving circles have shared their data with me. I can make it anonymous to respect everyone's privacy. But really what I care most about is just that holistic view of how many families are being impacted. And I think that I'll end there with some data. And I guess we can open up for questions. I'll go back to here.
Rona, I was just seeing that the visualization and the metrics seem to be helpful. There was a question about from Faith about whether or not, if you're in the network, you could propose a grant for a need and offer it out for organizations who are in that space. So kind of bringing the capabilities or the resources and needs together. Do you want to speak to that, Rona?
Yeah, hopefully it's okay. I'll keep it anonymous, but we have a customer right now that's precisely using that our platform for that, where they have a group of funders who are interested in funding mental health initiatives. And then we have service providing organizations that provide mental health services. And they're seeing our platform as a way to bring that together so that I have a request for funding and there's some vetting process where funders can then go in to look at all the requests and the opportunity and what I'm exactly going to fund. And so hopefully that answers or provides a concrete example of how that might be used. And again, the data that we have here for demonstration purposes, I think, is just publicly available data that we're ingesting through our platform.
Great. Thank you. I couldn't get off my mute button, but I think that covers it for us. Thank you so much for all the time.
Thank you, Tara and Rona. This was so amazing. And as I was saying in the chat, I will share the contact information of each one of you. I will share also the offers that Meta, Impact, Grapevine, and Charityvest are offering. So I will send everything via email. Thank you so much. And before wrapping up the day, I'm gonna pass it to Sara Lomelin, our CEO.
Thank you, Maya. And I just want to say thank you, Tara, Rona, Rebecca, and Gabby. Was great just to see, I am super familiar with Grapevine, but, I was not that familiar with Charityvest or with Meta Impact. And it's really great to see how the platforms work. And also, thank you for being flexible. I know, we changed the format of the meeting at the last minute, but I think it was really helpful for all of us in the room to hear from the four of you. So thank you for that. And I just want to announce our raffle winner of the $300 to use for a tech consultant. My God, now I'm not. Indiana Hamel, you are the raffle winner. So our team will be in touch with you for this raffle. And thank you, Maya. Thank you, everybody. Great end of We Give Summit Day 2. And we'll see you all tomorrow for the last day. We have a day full of incredible sessions. And have a good night, everybody.